West Inn, in a small town in southern Louisiana, has a reputation for being a peaceful place for those seeking relaxation. But local residents avoid staying there, especially in room 306. There is a legend about a woman who was found dead in that room in 1978, with a frozen smile on her face and her eyes fixed on the ceiling. The cause of death was never determined. Emma, an executive traveling for work, booked the Riverside Inn without knowing the history. On the first day, she noticed that the TV turned on by itself, always on the local news channel. Strange but not alarming. However, at night as he was trying to sleep, he heard light footsteps on the carpet, as if someone was walking around the bed. On the second night, Emma saw the figure of a woman in front of the window. As he approached, the woman disappeared, leaving the glass fogged up with the phrase, "I'm still here." Terrified, Emma tried to change rooms, but the hotel was full. On the last night, Emma woke up at 3 a.m. to a soft laugh echoing through the room. When he opened his eyes, he saw the same woman sitting in the armchair, with a sinister smile. "Not everyone leaves," said the woman before disappearing. Emma never returned to the Riverside Inn. Later, she told the story to a friend who decided to investigate. He discovered that in 1978, a woman named Lillian Harris had been found dead in that room after a violent argument with her husband. Her husband disappeared soon after and was never found. Reports of encounters with the woman in room 306 continue to this day. Some say that if you look in the mirror at 3 a.m., you will see Lillian in the background smiling at you. In 1995, at the Summit Peak Hotel in Denver, Colorado, a guest named Charles Klein checked into room 217. He paid for a week but never checked out. When the cleaning staff entered the room after the reservation was completed, they found his clothes neatly folded on the bed and his passport on the table. But Charles wasn't there. The police were called, but no clues were found. The hotel continued to operate normally, until new guests in room 217 began reporting strange noises and feelings of being watched. Years later, in 2018, a guest named Michael reported waking up in the middle of the night feeling like someone was sitting on the edge of his bed. He turned on the light but saw nothing. When he went to the bathroom, he found a note written in old handwriting, "You will never leave here." Scared, Michael tried to leave the hotel that same night. When he went down to reception, he found the door locked and the receptionist missing. The strange thing is that, the next day, Michael was found sleeping in room 217, despite having tried to leave. He could never explain how he got back to his room. Room 217 has since been sealed. Some say that Charles Klein never left the hotel because he was absorbed into his own room. What do you think? Would you have the courage to spend a night there? Lakeview Lodge, located in Michigan, is an older hotel known for its beautiful lake views. One winter night in 2003, a receptionist named Adam received a call from room 302. The problem? The room was empty and locked. Confused, Adam answered the call. A female voice asked, "Can you help me?" Before he could respond, the line went dead. When he went up to check the room, he found the door open and a draft of cold air crossing the hallway. While reviewing hotel records, Adam discovered that a woman had stayed in room 302 in 1974 and disappeared without a trace. Since then, guests have reported hearing the phone ringing in the middle of the night, even when the room is empty. In the following years, other receptionists reported similar calls. Once, in 2015, a receptionist named Lisa answered one of these calls. The female voice asked, "Can you see me?" Lisa replied no, and then the voice said, "Then look out the window." When Lisa did so, she saw a female figure standing outside the hotel, looking directly at her. After that night, Adam quit his job and never returned to Lakeview Lodge. And you, what would you do if you received a call like that? The Grand Manor Hotel in New York has a peculiarity, the mirror in room 509. They say that whoever looks at it at night sees more than their own reflection. Sarah, a tourist passing through the city, noticed the strange mirror as soon as she entered the room. On the first night, he saw a shadow pass by the mirror while he was brushing his teeth. He thought it was an impression. On the second night, he saw an unknown face next to his reflection. Terrified, she covered the mirror with a sheet. But at 2 a.m., he woke up to the sound of something scratching the glass. When he removed the sheet, he saw a message written on the mirror, "You can't hide." Sarah left the hotel at the same moment. Years later, a group of paranormal investigators decided to visit the Grand Manor. They used a special camera to film the mirror at night and captured the image of a woman dressed in black appearing behind the investigators. There are no records of who the figure seen in the mirror could be, but the legend lives on. Would you have the courage to look at him? The Desert View Inn in Nevada is located next to an abandoned amusement park. In 1987, a girl disappeared while playing on the park's Ferris wheel. His body was never found. Guests at the Desert View Inn often report hearing the sound of a Ferris wheel spinning in the distance, even though the park has been closed for decades. In 2022, a couple reported hearing children's laughter at night and seeing flashing lights in the park. When they went to check, they found the Ferris wheel slowly rotating. But what terrified them was seeing a girl in a white dress waving at them from the top of the circle. Intrigued, they tried to get closer, but when they arrived at the park, the Ferris wheel was stopped and the place was completely dark. The next day, when they reviewed the footage from their cell phone, they clearly saw the girl waving and smiling. No one knows who this girl is or why the park still seems to come to life at night. Would you dare to stay close to a place like this?